All right, with that, let's move on. Let's tell you how Bloomberg has reported that the U.S. Air Force is moving ahead with a defense purchase involving a company partly owned by the sons of U.S. President Donald Trump. As per this report, the Air Force plans to acquire interceptor drones from PowerUs, which is a Florida-based firm in which Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump hold ownership stakes. The system is designed to counter hostile drones by intercepting and destroying them mid-air, which is a capability increasingly in demand as low-cost aerial threats reshape modern warfare. This deal comes after a successful demonstration in Arizona where the company showcased its interceptor technology. Remember, this marks PowerUs's first known sale of such a system to the U.S. military, placing it among a growing list of firms entering the rapidly expanding counter-drone space. So far, key details remain limited. Neither the U.S. military nor PowerUs has disclosed the size, value, or volume of the contract. Bloomberg notes that this is typical in early-stage defense procurement, where the Pentagon often tests and evaluates systems before committing to large-scale purchases. These initial agreements are generally used to assess performance, cost efficiency, and scalability before any broader deployment. The move also aligns with a wider U.S. strategy to counter inexpensive drone threats, particularly those seen in conflicts involving Iran and Ukraine, with similarly low-cost interception systems instead of expensive missile defenses. However, the development has sparked criticism. Ethics experts argue that awarding defense contracts to firms that are linked to the president's family could create perceived conflicts of interest, even if standard procurement processes are followed. As demand for counter-drone systems surges globally, this deal highlights both the strategic urgency and the political scrutiny shaping the future of modern defense technology. And beyond defense, the Trump family has expanded into critical minerals, a sector that is central to global supply chains and national security. Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump have taken stakes in a U.S.-backed tungsten mining project in Kazakhstan, which has been supported by up to $1.6 billion from U.S. government-linked agencies. Tungsten, which is a key material used in missiles, armor-piercing ammunition, and industrial tools, has now become a strategic priority amid rising competition with China. While there is no evidence of direct involvement in securing government backing, the overlap between business interests and policy priorities continues to draw scrutiny. And our correspondent Susan Tehrani is joining us live from New York to get us an understanding of this. Susan, good evening. Get us the latest as far as the Trump family getting, being accused in this entire conflict of interest controversy is concerned. This is not the first time, but any response of how they plan to take things forward?
Right. So two fronts here and two different opinions. While they're not breaking any law, some believe that the optics presented in this story is not beneficial for the Trump family and the president. Others believe that it's a smart business decision and it doesn't really matter who's involved, considering the fact that the United States will be able to domestically produce these low-cost drones with less reliance on China. But it does seem that the two brothers are involved in a company that is sort of a merger to a golf course company that they're involved in. So automatically they become involved in this new drone company. And they sit on the board, they are investors, and this has created sort of not so much a controversy, but again, a discussion about to what extent a family member of a sitting president can be involved in the Pentagon. The argument there is that, these should be deals and bets that will be publicly offered and not immediately given to one company to create competition. But it appears that this company has been very convincing in being able to really produce thousands of these drones, being very low cost for the Pentagon. And that was the part that was very attractive, not only to the Trump administration, but the Pentagon as well. Because at this point, with warfare happening in the Middle East, and we saw how Iran is using these cheap drones, the United States felt that it was very important to counter that.
All right, Susan, thanks very much for giving us a perspective of what exactly this controversy is about and, of course, how the Trump administration has been taking it forward. Thanks very much.